the Brookes Bench with your host, Brooke, aka Shiggy, and my co-host, Brooke.
What's up, y'all?
And Megan. Woo!
Can't get rid of me.
Oh, yeah.
No, we can't.
You're back as a special guest. You know, we always got to bring you back for our games that we like to play, okay? Yeah. All right, in this video, we are going to go over the new Unrivaled League made by Breanna, Stewart, and Naphessa Collier. The controversial topic about this NBA 2k24 cover athlete. And then we're going to go over some All-Star Snubs and a little mini game at the end that Brooke and Megan are going to compete in, okay? So stay tuned, alrighty? But you guys saw the new Unrivaled League that Breanna Stewart and Naphessa Collier made, which is cool. I'll read you guys a little snippet, okay? So basically, it's going to run from January to March in Miami, which kind of sucks. Like, man, why has it got to be across the country for us? I would want to go. That'd be dope. But basically, it's going to feature 30 of the top professional women's basketball players on 6 teams. There'll be 3-on-3 games and 1v1 games, which that's going to be dope. And to pay these players, they're going to basically try and raise enough private funding, sponsorships to give them competitive wages of what they were making while playing in the WNBA. And basically it's being started because this new prioritization rule, or whatever you call it, that the players have to be back before training camp, is messing with people's money. So good for Breanna Stewart and Collier. I hope they get some NBA players that help them with this, because that would be kind of cool. But what do you guys think about it? Do you guys think like this is going to be kind of cool? It's not like, you know, a regular 5-on-5. It's 3-on-3 and 1-on-1. Like that's kind of different.
Yeah, it's going to be a different style for sure.
I think it's cool. I mean, I think that like they might be like an athletes limited where it's like, yeah, Miami this year, but it might be somewhere else next year. And if it's good enough, they might travel. But it just makes me think I'm playing like that NBA Streets like Xbox game. Did you guys remember that one? Like, I feel like I'm playing that, which is super cool. Like, I feel like that's going to be awesome. And then you're going to get people like Kelsey Plum, who's going to be like, oh, I'm down for this because she's been playing 3-on-3, you know? So I think it's also going to grow the 3-on-3 game because USA and 3-on-3 women's basketball is pretty dominant. So you don't know what's going to come out of this. I think this is pretty cool. And I think they'll get professional men's players easy.
Yeah. I can't wait for the 1-on-1. Like, do you just call each other out? Or it's like, no, you get matched up by whoever, you know, is doing
Imagine somebody like calling out Asia Wilson, who's like not a big, they're like a guard, and they're like, let's run it.
1-on-1.
Like,
it's time.
You're going to get like Sid Colson, like calling random people out and then getting her ass beat in 1-on-1. Like,
that's what I'm curious about. And I want to know how these players are selected, because it doesn't say WNBA players. It says top professional, period. Yeah. So that's cool. I think that's cool. Yeah. So I'm curious to see how it works out, but I'll for sure tune in like January to March. Like that's going to be.
We're going to see a different style of basketball, like playing 1-on-1 versus team basketball where you have to run plays with 4 other people. Like this is like 1-on-1 where you can like try different moves and I don't know. It's going to bring different people to light.
Yeah.
Like Aerial Powers, I would see her doing good in a league like this compared to how she's been playing this year.
Yeah.
But
I like how you said like it's gonna let people like players shine a little bit more. Especially players maybe on these super teams. Like they're gonna I feel like
their individual talent and
And so plus it might bring like another light to like the worldwide stage, right? Like like you said, Shakes, there's not WNBA top. Like this is just top, period. So maybe there's somebody from Italy or somebody from Germany that's going to come in and like run the show that everybody's like, who the hell is this?
Yeah. And that might open up a spot for them on the WNBA roster if they choose to play, you know.
Yeah, choose to make less money a year. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who wouldn't want to do that, right? So yeah, stay tuned for that, guys. I believe it's starting next January. So that'll be cool. Can't wait to watch that. But let's transition over to the NBA 2K24 cover. So the last 3 years, they've done one for WNBA players. So 2022 was Candace Parker. 2023 was Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi.
The best one.
You didn't even buy it. No, I'm just saying. And then 2024, they just recently announced it is going to be Sabrina. How do you say her last name? Is it Ionescu? Ionescu?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, right? But there's been some recent backlash they said like a Breanna Stewart or a A'ja Wilson should have got it. Reigning MVPs. They've gone back and forth the last couple years. So I'm curious, what do you guys think about Sabrina getting it over those two?
I think it's weird, especially because that whole All-Star thing came out where it showed fans.
Oh, yeah.
The fans, the public, like how everyone views her.
Wait, Brooke, did you see that?
No.
So, like, you know how the All-Stars are selected, like the starters? So it's fan vote, media vote, player vote. So they did a pop-up of like the top 10. And guess what Sabrina's player rank was? Like how the players in the league ranked her.
Oh, I think I did see this. And that she wasn't ranked very high.
No, she was ranked 19th.
Yeah, but because of like fan votes.
No. The players ranked her.
I know, but the fan votes like got her up.
Oh, yeah. The fan votes got her up there. Yeah.
Damn, yeah.
So, yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, go on, Meg. Sorry.
But so that's what I'm thinking is the reason why. It's because
that there's backlash.
They're thinking about fans are going to buy the game. So they're putting a higher rated, like someone that's connecting with the fans, which I'm assuming she has to be doing something, right?
Yeah.
But
okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking sense. That's why.
Okay, that makes sense.
But Asian and Breanna Stewart, like,
oh yeah, they're popular.
Fans love them too. So I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah.
She and I were talking about this, and like I'm for it, of course, because I'm a big Sabrina fan. So like I love it. Do I think she's the best WNBA player? No, I don't. So like don't come for my neck on that one. But like I don't know. I think that she's bringing in a new fan base, a younger fan base, and then she's also has like I don't know, like she has all these she had all of these NIL deals. She has endorsements. She has all these things that's bringing in a wider audience. Like, yes, I bet you right now, everybody who's not happy are major WNBA fans. Like, yeah, I'd love to see A'ja Wilson on it too. Yeah. I think Breanna Stewart might be the better option as well. But like Sabrina's bringing in all these different fan bases. And just to Megan's point, like the athletes aren't buying this game and playing it.
Yeah.
It's the fans that are buying it and doing it and putting it over. And like, Sabrina, in my opinion, has a bigger base than that. Like, you know, there's not a lot of, unless you're buying Ruffles bags, you're not seeing A'ja Wilson all the time. You know? Like,
hey, bro, I'd be eating Ruffles. Not
right. I mean, I'm not mad. I love that. But like, you know, I think like fan base wise, like money, like this is a business. This is not like fan. All right, who is it? Like, this is a business. Who's going to get us the most money and bring us a wider audience? Because this is year 3. You guys are still building. This isn't like they've been doing this for 20 years and like we're just picking people. Like, so
yeah.
I mean, yes, there's a better option, but I think like she's a solid pick.
Yeah, I think the big thing is like it is only the 3rd year. So like you already had a Candace Parker, Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi. That's great, great first people to put on a cover. But then it's like, all right. Sabrina, like, okay, like that. I could see Breanna Stewart. I mean, she's done so much. Yeah. Like college professionals. Oh, yeah. I could see maybe Sabrina in like year 10, like the 10th cover, like something crazy, like down the road, maybe. So it is interesting. I know she had a really good season last year. So they might be basing it off of that. She did have a good season last year.
I mean, you also come from like, she was the first to do so many things at Oregon, and like not even just at Oregon, like in the entire NCAA, like men's and women's. Like she was the first person to do that. Then she came and like, she struggled a little bit in the pros with injuries and stuff, but like then she was the first to do something else ridiculous. Like there's just been so many things where she has been the first, like statistics wise, she's there, like consistency wise now.
What I just thought of, and this is probably actually the true reason. On the guy's cover, it's Kobe Bryant. Oh, and Sabrina and Kobe were close, right? She repped the Mamba, all that stuff. Like she's Kobe brand.
They
work together in the gym.
Audience.
Yeah,
they train together. So I'm thinking maybe that connection. They're feeding off of that.
That's another angle. Good perspective. Yeah. See, this is why we're all here, right?
Yeah.
Let us know what you guys think. Is it a good pick? Is it a bad pick? We want to know. Let us know how you're feeling about that. But over to the All-Star selections. We put our predictions out there. They were a little rough. Megan still owes us a lap that I will bring. I am bringing to this app of her running this lap. Okay. But But I did look at Jordan Canada's stats after you said that. Yeah, she's been having a very good season, so I'll give you that. But I knew she wasn't going to be an all-star. I knew you're a little crazy on that one. But we'll pop up our picks. Mainly mine and Megan's because Brooke kind of tapped out on our all-star reserves. And I only want to go over the reserves because I mean the starters are picked by fans. There's nothing we can control about that. The reserves are picked by coaches, so I'm curious how their mind kind of works. So as you guys know, the reserves that were actually selected were Kelsey Plum, Sabrina, Collier Copper, Alicia Gray, Kelsey Mitchell, Courtney Vandersloot. Oh, Brooke, you got that one right. Naphessa Collier, Dewana Bonner, Cheyenne Parker, Ezzie Magbagor, Alyssa Thomas, and Elena Deladon. Okay? Deserving. I like them except a couple. I'm not going to lie to you. But that's why I made a game. I made a game for Brooke and Megan. Basically, I selected 4 all-star reserves, okay, that were picked by the coaches, and then 4 candidates that were deemed snubbed by, media outlets and other people, okay? I put them all, I'm going to pop it on the screen. I put them as like player 1, player 2, player 3, yada, yada. And I put all their stats. And we did basic stats. Don't come for me with player efficiency and all that. Alrighty. We're going to go for, it's going to show games played, total points, points per game, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. So Brooke and Megan are looking at like player 1 with all their stats. Okay. So what we're going to do is they're going to look at all that. They're going to choose their top 4 picks. And then I'm going to reveal to them who those picks were. So I want to see if they pick the actual people that were selected or if they pick the snubs that were, the players that were deemed snubbed of an all-star selection, basically. I feel like I picked people that were pretty close in stats. Like you guys can be like, oh, it's going to be a little bit difficult. I'll have it on the screen so you guys can see. Let me know who your 4 would be. Obviously, the answer is going to be in the next couple of minutes. So put it in the comments. Let me know. But all right, guys. You're looking at it. Let me know some opinions that are flowing through your head right now. What are you noticing? What are you noticing here?
This is like honestly so hard.
It's hard.
I didn't even see the games played there for a second. There's just like you're like, okay, like 106 rebounds, and then you're like, oh shit, 129 rebounds. You're like, oh, that's cool. And then you're like, oh, 30 blocks. And then you're like, oh, 5 blocks. And you're like, wait, 184 points? Like, what the hell?
It's a lot.
Like, this is hard.
It's a lot to take in. And it's like, these are what these coaches are probably, taking into consideration as well. So, like, that's why I want to see what you guys would think and what you guys would pick.
And we're picking 4, right?
Yeah, 4 out of the 8. So there's 8 players.
All right, I might have my 4.
Meg, are you close to your 4?
Yeah, I think I'm
like debating on my 4th of like which player I want to go for.
So what we'll do, we'll go back and forth. When you say player whatever number, I'll tell you who that player is. Okay? So who wants to start this thing off?
Megan, do the honors.
I think player 8.
That was my first pick as well.
Okay.
Best stats out here, I feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
So that's Ezzie. So obviously she's selected.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah.
And let me preface this. The people I picked were all on the bubble for stats wise. Like they were all next to each other, like kind of like close. So it would make you guys kind of think. So yeah, Ezzie, obviously she stood out a little bit more. Okay. So Ezzie. Mm-hmm. That's one.
I think like the crazy thing is like I'm not even trying to look at the total points, and then I'm looking at everything else, and then I go up and like to me my next pick's player 7, and like player 8 had less points than player 7, and player 8 was my first pick. So Ezzie was my first pick. Like my next one's player 7.
What's yours, Meg? You would agree?
Yeah, I would
player
agree.
7?
Yeah.
So player 7 is actually Natasha Howard.
Dude,
you was snubbed.
I've said she's done
I know
good.
you did.
Oh my god,
you did say it.
She's having a good season.
Yep, you did say it. Okay, so we got Ezzie and Natasha. Who's next?
All right. I like player 4.
Okay, what about you, Brooke?
I like player 6.
Okay. And did you have a player 6 before, or a player, player 6 before I say 4, Megan? Because I don't want to like say it so you guys know. You know what I'm saying?
I don't have player 4.
Okay, so you don't have player 4. What about you, Megan? Do you have player 6?
No.
Okay, so player 4 was Cheyenne Parker. And player 6 was Marina Mabry.
Oh,
yeah. So who did you have over Mabry then, Megan? Who was your last player?
I kind of like number 3.
Okay, number 3. Final answer?
Yeah, 3.
Breanna Jones.
Number 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Man, I'm shocked by her percentages, man. That's pretty good.
I know.
To be in the 50s.
Really good. Yeah.
And now that I know it's her, like I know she gets up a lot of shots.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
See, and my next one was like between player 3 and player 5.
Oh, okay.
And like I was just thinking about the same thing about player 5. He's like, yeah, the 3-point percentage isn't like super high.
Yeah.
But like the rebounds, the assists, like those are high. And so I player 5 is my 4th pick.
Courtney Vandersloot. Fuck. You love her. You got to get on the train. You got to get
just
on.
Like you, I might be like one toe on the train with her.
You're there.
Who can you name all of them?
Yeah. So I want you guys to know who you left off because this is hilarious and I'm gonna love this.
Jordan, Canada.
You left off Sabrina Ionescu. You left off.
What number is she? Player 1?
Yeah, player 1.
She was like player 1 was one of my last picks.
I'm glad this statement was here. This is crazy. Okay. Ryan Howard. She was player 2. And then well, you guys intertwinedly picked players 3 to 8. Yeah. So a mix of selections and snubs. You guys evenly picked that.
Honestly, Megan, I'm pretty impressed that like we were pretty on it together.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I mean, and Ezzy deserves it. Natasha Howard.
Hell yeah, Ezzy deserves it. Are you kidding me? I will die on fucking Capitol Hill for that one.
Yeah.
Man.
Ezzy's been having a great season. You know what I should have did now that thinking back? I should have had you guys just rank these players.
Oh, we should have.
Who would Megan? Because Brooke said basically player 1 was last, which was Sabrina. Did you have a similar opinion or how were you looking
I focus more on the ones I like. So let me just take a look here.
I got you while you look. So mine was 876.
876.
And then 5 and 3 were interchangeable. So then I would have been 5-3.
Okay.
4-2-1.
Wow. That's crazy. Okay. What were you looking at the most then?
Me, I was looking at the rebounds, the assists, the steals, and the blocks. So like player 7, let's say, right? Like the rebounds, the 117 rebounds took my eye immediately. And then that led me to player 8. But then I was like, okay, rebounds, that's a lot, right? Let's look at the blocks. And like knowing in fantasy too, like how valuable blocks are, like those are like those don't come by often. And so like then you see the steals. So like one thing led me to another, and then the percentages were just like a cherry on top for me.
Yeah. So
I
it's
wasn't
like
even looking at total points at all.
So you looked at more of the intangibles and then said, oh, those points are also high. So that's that's how I would have.
Well, I automatically assumed that the if you're rebounding in the hundreds, you're going to be a forward or center. Yeah. So then I was already thinking of who I thought they were. And then, you just look at more. So like for number 8, like, okay, the 3, they don't shoot the 3 a lot. So it's a big guard that rebounds, that plays good D, can assist and stuff. Like,
gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, that's how I try to play it. And then, I did take into account like games played.
Yeah.
Because 15 games and then 13. So, okay, you missed some games for some reason. But yeah, I don't know. I try to take a full look of it, but it's hard. It's hard to do just off stats. And I think that's why when coaches have to choose, they look at more than just stats. Watch the player, some game tape, or they remember watching them playing against them and stuff. And it's just like,
but I deserve
it.
Yeah. That makes sense. But I think these stats, like, for example, like the players we talked about, like Natasha Howard that didn't make it, Breanna Jones, like, I feel like we watched them play and their impact, and we're like, wow, they're doing so well. And now their stats are also backing that up. So it's kind of like, yeah, I get your perspective of what the coach is seeing, but it's also like, I mean, you can't doubt that either of those two were, you know, they were doing well when they're on the court as well. So it's interesting.
The thing too is like, what's interesting is like, now that you say Sabrina, right? Like in my head, like I know Sabrina's a good player.
Yeah.
And this is something that like I have like overlooked. And I, you know, just did that by looking at it just now. Like I wasn't prepped for this. Like games played matters. Like those are Sabrina's stats at 12 games played, which is the least in the set. So it's like those things, like too, like if you get to sit down and actually as a coach look at this and think about it, like your eye is obviously going to go to the higher number of everything. But then you have to look at the games played. Like if it was all fair, like you had to play 15 minimum, what would that difference look like, you know?
And I mean, there's a lot of factors. Like you have to also consider how many minutes are they playing?
True.
Are they a role player on that team? Ezzy's a role player on that team. Like it's her and Jill Lloyd.
Yeah.
And she plays a lot of minutes. So I'm saying like for a big like her, she's going to get the ball. She's going to get rebounds. She's going to get the touches compared to like Breanna Jones, who is having to fight against Alyssa Thomas, you know, like Connor, like the ball's being shared more. There's different factors like that where you have to watch them play and see the dynamics of them in the game to also see what they're contributing. Like how much Marina can change a game. Like, you know, like how many games where Chicago started off slow, but it was Marina maybe that closed the game at the end. So we notice that because we watch it. The stats don't show that though, you know? Which is hard, but
yeah, it's hard. And I want to preface this. So these stats were from the start of the season. So May 19th to June 30th. So like the end of voting or whatever it was for All-Star selection. So it's a small little pool. So that's why the numbers are like this, just so everyone knows that. But it's just interesting. You guys did pick similar people and it wasn't like so like far off. And like I said, you guys picked like what, 2 considered snubs and then 2 like All-Star selections. So I just wanted to throw it out there just to see a different perspective, what other people are looking at.
That was good.
But yeah, let us know if you had similar answers to them or you selected all the people that were All-Star selections. Because I'm kind of curious of what coaches think. Because it could be anything, honestly. But like you said,
and I wonder do they consider last year's performance like after All-Star? Does that like do they keep that in mind, like how they did in playoffs or? Because I mean, it's such, like you said just now, it's such a short period before All-Star weekend. It's like, are they really only focusing on those games? Because I mean, Sabrina made it, and if we are focusing on last year, then it's like, oh yeah, well she did finish strong last year. She was leading for that team. She did everything for Liberty. So I don't know. I guess we'll never know until we talk to one of the coaches, huh?
Hey, coaches, if you want to come on the pod, notice.
Also,
give us
like,
some
I feel
insight.
like we need to put it out there too, because somebody might find this video eventually and come for us. But like, we're not discrediting the work they put in to get to these levels. So, disclaimer for anybody, all you haters out there that want to come for our heads, like that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, I think this is more like an open conversation. Of like what people are thinking, how we're thinking, just to get different perspectives. Because I feel like every time we all 3 get together, we have different perspectives to bring. And you know, everyone has different opinions. It's an open conversation. That's why we like to do.
It's all love.
Yeah. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Let us know your comments on any of the topics we went over today. Okay. But thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be back next week with more videos.
Love ya.